Episode of Success Never Sleeps, sponsored by My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. Hey, Brannon, so it's Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast. Welcome to Success Never Sleeps, broadcasting from the mothership right here in Millbrae, California. I want to get things started by thanking my sponsors as always. We have My Studio. Yeah, my studio. We also have Kids Love Life Skills and LC Accounting. Lots of good things going on with all three of these companies. They're disruptors. They're on the cutting edge. I saw a thread going through yesterday. My studio is increasing some of their plans that they have, and people are complaining about that. And my challenge with that right off the bat, I'm going to share with that, is you're getting so much for such an inexpensive price. You have the option to stay with that, but you have the option to upgrade. And as things grow, things change. And that's the big thing I've learned about life. What I charge today in my martial arts school is not what I charged 3-4 years ago. So the fact that my studio is increasing their fees is, I think, something that's really normal. So I'm going to ask people that are looking at my studio, and I know this is a tough place to begin. Take a look at that. Look at what they offer you and look what you're paying for it, right? So I want you to embrace that because they're growing. They're recognizing as a business they need to charge more as they add more features that you demand as a user. So of course that needs to change, right? So think about that. Cool. And then, of course, Kids Love Life Skills. We're moving into a subscription-based model. That's going to take a little love, a little time, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm cultivating a really great team of people. We're learning to work together. We're learning those dynamics, and that's part of disruptive behavior. I ran a company on my own for, I don't know, close to a decade, and Kids Love Life Skills is a great life skill system that needs support. So bringing people aboard, making changes, and growth is really, really powerful. And LC Accounting, my sister's my bookkeeper, my accountant. She's just amazing. And she does martial arts. She gets what we do. She's learned a lot from me. We share a lot of the same philosophies of profit first. So these are three very disruptive companies that are in line with my values. And that's why I've chosen them as a sponsor. They've chosen me as an influencer to help support their products. And make no mistake, there's always going to be growing pains with great companies. There's always going to be huge misses, as we saw, right, with SpaceX. Remember recently when those SpaceX rockets came back and they exploded on the platform, and they celebrated that. See, great companies aren't afraid to make mistakes. It's small-minded people that are afraid to make mistakes because small-minded people are governed by what? Ego. Ego. And that ego stops them from embracing mistakes as opportunities to learn something and be successful. So I'm going to encourage that out of everybody. Make a lot of mistakes every day. Every day. But insanity is making the same mistake over and over, expecting different results. Cool? And that's my intro for today. Hey, for all the people coming aboard, I am Brannon. This is Success Never Sleeps. First thing you want to do is share this with everybody. And if you share this and this broadcast, what are we giving away, K1? As always, look at this. We're giving our free Kids Love Life Skills t-shirts, staff t-shirts for your entire team. Wow, that's a new one. Hey, thank you, Kids Love Life Skills. So you get everybody on your whole team is going to get a Kids Love Life Skills staff t-shirt for your entire team. Co-branding with somebody like Kids Love Life Skills, that's an international brand used in schools all over the world. That's powerful stuff, right? And when you can co-brand, why do you think Under Armour aligns himself with Steph Curry? Obvious. Why do you think Nike uses Michael Jordan? Obvious, right? So to align yourself with some type of powerful brand or influencer is a good thing. Keep coming in. I want to see who's here today. We got a lot of people, but only a few people saying hello. Put in your name, the name of your school, where you're tuning in from, okay? Hey, Jim, what's up? Jim and Connie, Jason, Marco. I love it. I love saying hello and good morning to everybody that's here. We did a wonderful event last Sunday. And there were 200 people signed up for the event. About 130 or so were able to get in, which was super cool. But we supported the people who couldn't get in because we were just overwhelmed. We sent you the link. You were able to watch it for 24 hours. I encourage everybody to pick up that product. We have it for sale now. take a look at it. What we it really was, it centered around the small school owner. You are my passion. You are my purpose. You are the majority of our industry, but you make the minority of the wealth. To me, that's backwards, right? My goal is to help the small school owner become this professional business. I believe there's a lot of great martial artists out there that deserve to be very profitable, but you can never do that as a small school owner unless you are willing to learn business, social media, finances, all those fundamentals. You need that. So it's time, small school owners. It was a great event. Thank you. It was, to me, it was very disruptive. A lot of the content I offered had people scratching their heads going, I didn't know that before, because it's awareness. It's not that you don't know it, you're not aware of it. But once we created this awareness, I said to everybody, now that you're unplugged from the matrix, now that your eyes are wide open, please don't go back to sleep. If you keep doing the same old stuff, you're going to get the same old results. And as we see, life is not the same as it was a year ago for the majority of people in our industry, not the minority who were open in May, running full schools, full operations again. The majority of the world is shut down. The majority of the world is dealing with virtual and outdoor classes and things of that nature. So take a look at that, okay? Take a hard look at that. I was just talking to one of my distance learning camp counselors. His dad is a very big disc jockey in San Francisco. Well, when the pandemic happened, he could no longer do nightclubs. He could no longer do weddings, right? Two of the mainstays of mobile disc jockeys. Guess what? He went into a streaming platform and he's streaming. He says he's going to discontinue doing weddings now. You see how he pivoted? He sits at his home, he wakes up, does his thing on his turntables, does his shows, and he's generating a new revenue stream. So are we. Virtual, we had somebody walk in yesterday, right, K1? Dad picked up the uniform, right? I'd never seen this dad. So he signed up online, $99. He didn't come through a Facebook ad, right? He didn't. This guy signed up $99, went into our site, signed up $99, 4 weeks in a uniform. And when he did that, he also had to commit to paying for a month-to-month membership, right? So it's either $169 for once a week or $209 for twice a week. So it says it there. This is a 4-week trial in a uniform. At the end of 4 weeks, you automatically commit to a month-to-month membership. It's up to him in those 4 weeks to tell us if he doesn't want it or not and quit. So this guy came in here, but the one thing he said, and Marco, you'll love this. The one thing this guy said right away was the reason we're signing up is because of this. We handed him the student parent handout for family. We handed him the life skills badge for family and the coloring sheet. And he said, this is why we chose you over the other martial arts schools. So again, having a very strong life skill component, that was reinforcement for us, because the dad walked in to pick up the uniform versus us mailing it to him. And that's powerful. And I said, sir, are you going to do outdoors with us or virtual? He says, no, we're just doing virtual to begin with. And we went, wow. So it's becoming normal. Virtual is becoming very normal, especially for the beginner. Does that beginner need to get punched in the face or choked out or attacked? No, he doesn't. So to learn the fundamentals and the basics virtually, to me, is very acceptable. So please think about that. All right. Eric, what's happening, Eric? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So let's get into the party, man. Do we have a question? I see a video there. Am I supposed to look at that video, K1? Or are we ready for question one? Okay. Let's roll a question in there. And if you have a great Steph, what's up, Steph? Thank you for the very kind words that you wrote the other day. I think it was a Century post that you complimented that people should talk to me, Steph. Thank you very much for that, because you don't have to do those kinds of things. So I'm ever grateful when people do things like that. And Steph was tooting the horn for Brannon Beliso. Thank you so much. All right, what's the first question? What do we got, K1? This is from Tom. What are your thoughts on grants, loans, and support right now for our business? Also, I've heard some have deferred their rent. How would I begin this process? All right, Tom, that's a really, really good question. Back in March, when this thing first went down, the pandemic, I sat with my bookkeeper. I sat with my lawyer. I sat with my financial mentor because I wanted to gather data, Tom, and it's data that didn't exist because we'd never been in a pandemic. So the first thing I did, I said, well, what are our options? What's smart business right now? The first two things they said to me, number one, your two biggest costs are payroll and rent, right? In our business, it's payroll and rent. Those are our two biggest costs. And I tell my clients all the time, if you want to make more money right now, cut your expenses. Write that down. If I want to make more money right now, cut my expenses. Okay? Cut your expenses. It's that simple. So the first thing, I was talking to Letitia about this. I talked to Britt, I talked to Sam about this. I talked to Carolyn Tawasa, my lawyer. I talked to, several people because there was no real data. We'd never been here, right? How many times has a business been shut down? Never. Never. Not this way, right? Unless we're just going out of business. So first thing we did was cut payroll. We laid off 30 employees. Now, people go, oh, that's not good business. Yes, it was, because there were high school kids that only did birthday parties on the weekend, right? So they're not missing any money. That's pocket change. The second group of people were the people who we couldn't give hours to begin with that would make more money with unemployment and the stimulus. That was smart because they would have made less money with me. The third group, we've kept on full salaries to this day. So that was the first smart move. I wanted to take care of those core people. I didn't want to lose my core people. So I knew to keep my core people, I had to keep them on full salary. So the core people are still working to this day on full salary. The second thing we discussed was deferring our rent. Now, it didn't happen in the beginning. I wrote the letters. I wrote a letter to both landlords. One landlord said, pay your rent. The other landlord said, well, let me think about it. So it drug on a little bit, but we finally got our rent deferred at both locations. San Francisco, full deferral. Millbrae, 40% deferral. But make no mistake, that money has to be paid back. So we're accruing debt, Tom. We're cultivating debt right now. But that's okay because we're getting some of it paid. We're taking care of the employee's salary. My personal expenses are paid for. We're okay with that. We're okay with that. Well, I'm totally okay with that because it's going to be a rebuilding process for a couple years as we come out of this pandemic because we are in San Francisco. We've been closed longer than anybody, right? So what you need to do, sir, if you want to get a PPP, you want to get a grant, number one, ask Letitia. She's here. Look up my sister Letitia at LC Accounting. She'll fill you on this, Tom. Become part of our disruptor group. Beth Block contributes to that as well from Block Insurance. And my sister Letitia, they're friends. They work closely. So we're very clear. You want to be turning over every rock that's out there. We've applied for grants and not gotten them. We've applied for a new grant in San Francisco. We may get that. When we started out, we got the EIDL, which we have to pay back, right? It's a $10,000 small loan. We're paying that back right now. We got PPPs for both locations, and I don't know, 160,000. Letitia knows the exact number. Maybe you put it in there for me, Tish. We got about that much for both locations, and we got it forgiven because we used the money right. We didn't run out and put it in the stock market. We didn't take that money and buy a new car. We didn't take that money and remodel our school. We used it the way it was supposed to be used. That's the big thing because you have to be accountable for that. And if you don't use that money properly, they're going to make you pay it back. So if you want it to be forgiven, which to me is fundamentally free money, and it's not taxable income. Somebody said that. It is not taxable income. You're wrong, right? Letitia knows this information really well. So now, right now with the PPP, the big thing is number one, you have to have your financials in order. It's not just a matter of filling out the form, right? The basic application. You also have to have your financials ready. And Letitia asked me for our articles, right? When we started the company, there's articles that you create. You have to have the original LLC filing. So they want to make sure you're legit. So there's going to be a couple of layers because what they learned in the first stimulus is that there were people getting the money that had no business getting the money. No business getting the money. So they're going to put a couple of layers in place beyond just you filling out this application, having your financials, having your articles, all these things to prove that you're a legit business. So Tom, apply for it, please. 160K for both schools. Yeah, that's a lot of money to me, right? That's good money to be able to utilize that to help shore up our businesses, take care of our expenses and our payroll. I think it's a good day. And to get $160,000 forgiven, when's the last time that's happened in your business? Never, never. Not in my 20 years of owning martial arts schools has anybody ever given us $160,000 grant, loan, PPP, whatever you want to call it, and it's forgiven? That's crazy. And we're in line for the second draw. As soon as it's released, we're going to be all over that, Tom. All over it. And then another one I got was a $5,000 grant from Facebook. or did Letitia applies for all of this, but I found it. So we got a $5,000 grant, and they also gave us a $1,500 ad spend. That's $6,500 more that I didn't have. No payback, no income, none of it. It's a grant. So they're always out there. Keep looking for them. Letitia found the one for the San Francisco grant. We found another one. We're always turning over rocks because you never know. You never know. You never know. And when Facebook put out that grant, we applied for it. It's still $5,000 more I had, right? So you want to constantly be looking for that, Tom. And it's mining data. I'm big on mining data. The biggest companies in the world right now, Facebook mines data, right? YouTube mines data. Twitter, Instagram, all of them are mining your data so they know how you behave, how you act, how you spend. All that data is being mined. It's the same thing here in our industry. You should be mining data to help your business succeed and thrive during this pandemic. That's it. But it's really about understanding, Tom, beyond the obvious. You got to go where people are at. I shared that story yesterday. My wife is part of Bay Area Eats. It's a Facebook group where people are always putting, hey, this restaurant, this restaurant, this restaurant. We're getting tired of the restaurants in our neighborhood. We've been eating only at these restaurants for 10 months. So somebody posted a Vietnamese restaurant 30 miles away. So what we did was we got enough orders in Millbrae for this one Vietnamese restaurant. They're making food and they're going to bring it out 30 miles away from their business tomorrow and deliver it to all these homes in Millbrae. A year ago, you think this Vietnamese restaurant 30 miles away would ever thought they're going to be serving clients in Millbrae? No freaking way. But because they understand I have to go where the people are, we have to do a lot of different things to make revenue. We have to teach virtual privates. We teach virtual classes. We teach outdoor classes. They stopped us from teaching one-on-one in Millbrae. So yesterday, my guy's teaching outside on the sidewalk, teaching a private lesson. You got to go where the people are at. You feel me? Anybody with me? Keep saying hello. We got a lot of people on here. I want to know who's here. Vincent, Barico, what's happening? Conrad, Oven, sir, what's happening? From Puerto Rico. I love it. We got Puerto Rico in the house. Cool. Boston's in the house. North Carolina's in the house. North Carolina, does Tish live in North Carolina? South. South. See, I can never guess. South, North, it's all the same, but it's not, right? It's not. Cool. All right. K1, what's our next question? Kat, what was your setup for recording curriculum videos? Oh my goodness. Any special lighting, equipment, etc.? Do I need a 4K camera or just my iPhone 12? Any advice is welcome. Kat, when we shot those videos, we worked with a guy that was out of the Midwest, Michigan to be exact. And I had met him at one of the conventions. He flew out here and he had high-end cameras, high-end lighting, high-end everything. Do I believe that's necessary today? Remember, we've shot these curriculum videos 3 times over a decade, and each time it's to make the curriculum better. I believe with a quality iPhone, some decent lighting, and then some basic editing software, because when we talk about curriculum videos, Kat, what we're really looking at is one flat shot. You don't need 3 camera angles. You don't need any of that. What you do need, though, see, I'm not using ManyCam right now. What you do need is ManyCam or the Logi Capture, right? Because that way you can teach and do the punch. See, I'm going to punch with my left hand. You think it's my right hand. Right. And it's basically when you do curriculum video. So what I'm getting at, Kat, is I believe it's content more than it is, recording. But the iPhone 12 is awesome. The cameras are great. It's a matter of capturing that in a good way. A couple of decent lights. Make sure your backdrop is branded, right? We got the little, success never sleeps up in the corner. But as you see, I can't use green screen with BeLive. So this is my green screen. You see all this jacked upness. You want to make sure. Jacked upness? Is that a new word? Brannon just told you jacked upness. Write that down. We have a new word. That's jacked upness, man. All right, we got a new word. So, you want to have a decent background that's branded so the kids know it. If you look at our curriculum videos, we took a bunch of the Wave Master bags. We had a white background because we were black uniforms. And, I don't even think we had the one logo. We superimposed it after the fact. So it's mainly the content. And Kat, the big thing is understand you've already taught this to them. You've already taught this to them. So if I'm a student going to look at this curriculum video, it's reinforcing the sticking points that kids don't get, that people don't get when they're learning something, right? So when you teach it to them, it's a curriculum video. It's an instructional video. And if I'm doing a form from way back here at full speed, that's not a curriculum video. No, 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 no. I have to be up here going, okay, right hand closed, left hand up, step back with your left foot into a side horse, do a right vertical punch to the face, right? It's an instructional video. But at the end of your instructional video, Kat, somebody should be demoing it full speed the way they need to do it for them to earn their tip. You see what I'm saying? Too many people just simply do a demo video of the whole form from back here. That teaches them nothing. It's just a demo video. So it's really understanding, Kat, the difference between an instructional video and a demo video. And the luxury, of course, with using virtual is I can go, okay, when you make a fist, you put your hand up, okay, roll your fingers down. Good. Now put your right thumb across. That's the proper way to make a fist. It's hard to do that in a group class when you got 30 kids and this kid's way in the corner. So it's understanding that part too. How to use the camera, how to use this environment to help reinforce the curriculum, Kat, they've already learned, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would do 4K. I know when it goes down to streaming, it's going to get compressed and stuff. But I'd still rather have a higher resolution, so when they compress it, right, it's going to look better. We always shoot our stuff in 4K, and then I'd rather have that to work with versus having a low res video and try to get somebody to doctor that up and fix that, right? To fix that. So, you put the in the video. I was doing instructional video separate than flow additional. No, no, no. Don't do it as an additional video because I'm a kid watching. Yellow stripe one. I watch it from beginning to end. Then you got a separate video for yellow stripe one that's full speed. That's confusing. It should all be in one. Now we understand. We take some of our katas, Kat, and they're broken over 3 stripes, right? So, for example, one stripe will be the grab, the right punch, and the right punch. The next stripe will be left and right, club and knife. The next stripe will be the last 2 right punches of a kata. So at the end of that third video, they'll do it full speed, and it'll be all 3 stripes together. I hope that makes sense. Good. But yeah, yep, yep, yep. Yeah, don't do them separate. Don't do them separate. Cool? Yeah. I hope that helps answer that question. Next question. And if you have a question, you can put it in the right. I see we got a lot of people on here. Who else is here? Don. There's Don. Who else is here I haven't said hello to? Come on, disruptors. Say hello. Offer that in there, all right? Next question. Ooh, Brannon R. He's got a name like me. What's everyone charging for a 5-hour parents' night out event with food? 5 hours is a long, long time. Really long. We used to do 4-hour parent night outs, Brannon, and then we changed it to 3 hours. 3 hours is plenty because fundamentally parents are going to drop off the kids, go have some dinner. Even if they go catch a movie, the movie's 2 hours with previews and all that, they still have time to grab a quick bite after if they want. 4 hours is really long, but here's the kicker for us, Brannon, is we don't charge for parents' night out. It was added value. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's why that came to be. We looked at, what I pay staff, what we pay for pizzas. I don't know, it was roughly $300 to $500, depending, how many hours we did. And so we found for that $500, it was huge marketing. It wasn't mandatory, but a lot of kids would bring their friends, right? And that's potential. See, as I shared, Brannon, I don't want trials. I don't want leads. I want relationships. So we're willing to invest in that relationship. So here's that Disney experience that I play out. I'm a parent. Call my friends up. Hey, there's this new restaurant, and I really want to go on. Why don't we go on, we'll go on a couple's date, right? You bring your wife, I'll bring my wife. We'll go have some dinner at this new restaurant. Oh, well, I'd really like to, but it's hard to get a babysitter, yada, yada, yada. Hey, I got the hookup. My kid goes to One Martial Arts, and they do this free parents' night out once a month. They're going to watch the kids. They're going to learn life skills, dodgeball, eat pizza, have juice, do Legos, arts and crafts, and it's all free. What? It's what? You're telling me that we're going to get a free babysitter and these kids are going to get fed for 3 hours? Yeah, that's it. You want me to sign up and I'll make us reservations for this restaurant. Done day. Done day. So we found that offering our Parents' Night Out as a free added value product to our existing membership has been powerful. Yeah, you'll have the one or two families that don't go to your school at all, that take advantage of that Parents' Night Out. But you know what? We're servants of the community. We're okay with that. We're okay with that. So from that, we've generated a lot of new relationships that eventually became students. We had a kid sign up, I think, for distance learning camp. They came in through Parents' Night Out. They did one of our summer camps and they signed up for distance learning. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. So if I were to charge, the industry, what I hear in our industry across the board is anywhere from $25 to $50. So you're welcome to do that. But again, we strategically thought it was better not to charge for it, because it was more like advertising dollar for us and one more form of marketing to our community. Cool? All right, quick sponsor break. Let's take a sponsor break. And this is Success Never Sleeps. I am Brannon Belisa. We are sponsored by my studio, the app Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. Cool. And I hope you pick up our last Sunday. We had that great event. It's Time, the Small School Owners edition. We had 200 people sign up, over 130, 140 showed up, actually were there. Very proud of that event. I think it opened the small schoolers' eyes to potentially how to move that needle from it being a hobby business to being a part-time to being a job to really becoming an entrepreneur. So I was very proud of that event. Valued input, questions, feedback. People were just so awake. And as I shared, never go back to sleep. Now that you're wide awake and you understand that there's a skill set you need to adopt to be a successful small business, whether it's martial arts, wellness, or anything, please take full advantage of it and don't go back to sleep. Doing the same old things, you get the same old results. It's time to shake it up, disrupt your thinking, disrupt your business, and turn it into a business that serves you as well. Cool? All right. Next question. And I hope you've shared this, folks. Share it with everybody that you can, because you might win yourself a Kids Love Life Skills t-shirt for you and your entire team, right? Thank you to Kids Love Life Skills for that. So are you sharing this video with everybody? I hope so. Good. Next question. Sabunin. I'm wondering, what is the best method to keep belt inventory? I have been ordering just what we need, but as we're growing, it's becoming more difficult to keep up. Please offer your solution for belt inventory. Okay, Sabunin, what we do is we have belt testing every 3 months, pretty much on the whole, right? We do 3 months, we earn 6 stripes. At the end of 3 months, then we test out and review and do makeup stripes for a month. So what we do is a month before belt testing, we inventory our belts. After belt testing ends, we inventory belts again. That's how we inventory, sir. And remember, belts are what? $3 a piece, wholesale, $3.99. I mean, they're really cheap. So to always have extra belts there are not a big deal. And I think, at least for us, organically, Sabunin, we know we do a lot of yellow belt size 1s, so we'll order extra of those. Do you do a lot of size 6 brown belts? No, you don't. You don't do a lot of size 6 brown belts. So, those are something you can order as needed. So after a while, you should have a pretty much an established rhythm, knowing that these are the belts we knew more of. We do. But to keep extra belts on hand are not a bad deal. But here's a great way to do that, Sabunin. We have plastic bins, okay? Do you need to be there right now? Go grab me one of the crates with our uniforms in them up top, real quick. I'm going to show you something really cool because inventory. Hey, James, what's happening, James? Inventory is a tough thing, Sabunim. You'll sit there and go to Target. It says you have 3 in stock. Oh, well, we don't have any in stock. Inventory is one of those crazy things, and it's not something I believe we should be spending a lot of time on. So the fundamental system I created was a visual inventory, sir. A visual inventory. So imagine this. I can look up on the shelf and we have a crate. And this crate, I drew on this crate. Now the crate with the red line on it. The crate with the red line. See, I should have been more clear. K1's rolling his eyes at me. So I made this crate and I drew a red line on it. And if anything gets below the red line, guess what, Sabunin? We order. So that visual inventory, no matter who's working, all I have to say is, I want to know if we have enough size 1 yellow belts, or if I want to know if I have enough size 000 uniforms. Look up on the shelf and tell me how many are in the bin. And they can look up and see that crate. And if those uniforms sit below the red line, guess what? We order. Because I know if it's below the red line, it's less than 6 uniforms or belts or whatever by the time they order. Hey, there it is, K1. Thank you. So take a look at this, folks. You're going to love this. Very ingenious. See? So what does this tell me? We need to order some size 000s. See, because there's roughly 3, there would be 6 if it sat below that line. So they can look up on the shelf and they can go, well, size 000 is below the red line. Great. So we order. We order. It's that simple. So I find a visual inventory is the best way to go because anybody can do that visual inventory. Everybody see that? If you order 10 blue belts this test, hopefully you should order 10 or the next level at the next test. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. We can look at, and we use that all the time, James. So that's pretty standard for us, right? If we order 10 yellow belts this time, odds are next belt testing, we can order 10 yellow orange belts because they're moving up. Absolutely. Absolutely, James. Absolutely. So I hope that helps. But like I'm saying, with the visual inventory, I can look at that box and see it's below the red line. I need to order yellow belts, right? But we really do our biggest inventory a month before belt testing. So we know how many belts to order, and we do it a month after belt testing. And never have we had the issue of not having someone's belt ready to go. And fortunate with 2 locations, we can always grab a belt from the other school. Because again, that Disney experience, it's not a good experience for them to earn their belt and then have to wait 3 weeks to get it. We're doing that right now. We found last belt testing, a lot of people didn't pick up their belts, right? And we were trying to do that because delivering belts, we have 600 people online. To deliver belts to all those people is insane. So it's cheaper for us to simply mail it. Payroll, gas, time, made no sense. So now what we did is belt testing ended. We're mailing all their belts out. No pickup, none of it. None of it. If you didn't pick it up, you didn't get it in an outdoor class, we're putting it in the mail. Because we want them to show up to the first class on the new cycle wearing their new belt. Otherwise, it's not that Disney experience. Cool? I hope that helps. What questions do we have on the side? Any on the side there? No, we're good. We're good. Cool. I got a lot of people out there. Say hello. I want to know who's here. Tell me that you're. I see a lot of people up there because I can see you at live, but only a few people have said hello. Please stand up and be counted. You're part of this movement. You're a disruptor. I want you in there. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. All right. Next question. I love the questions, by the way, you guys. You guys are super cool because it shows me you're thinking, right? And I was always the kid in the front row like this. I make my teachers crazy. Why? Why is the sky blue? Well, because of the chemical reaction, the reflection. But why? But why? Right? No question is a dumb question, right? And that's the problem is we're conditioned. Someone once said to you, well, that's a stupid question, right? It's not. Every question is valuable. Raise your freaking hand, stand up and be counted. I'm very, very passionate about that, right? Very passionate. Hey, Carl. What's up, Carl? Yeah, a drive-through celebration to pick up belts. That's cool too. We did that one as well. James, we held it on a stick. We dropped it in the back seat. We did that one as well. But we find because our people are so spread out now because it's virtual, sir, we're running students in San Diego. I have students in Florida. We have students up in Seattle. We have students up in Sacramento, Davis, that putting the belts in the bail, it's just faster, right? Speed, we got to have speed. So that's why some of that works. I think do all of it, James. Do let them pick them up outdoors, let them come by the school and pick them up, do a drive-by celebration, mail them, just get them their belts on time. So as you start a new cycle, they have that belt, right? Stephanie, all the way from Germany. What's up, Stephanie? Mark Weber from the coast of Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. All right. I love it. See, everyone's going to get a plug. Everyone gets a plug that says hello. Yeah, and there's Carl. How about Stephanie? Can you find one for Stephanie? Is it that easy? It just draws up their picture? That's pretty cool, man. Stephanie! What's up, Stephanie? All right. Cool. What's our next question? See, you say hello and we say hello. I have junior instructors teaching on the mat and supporting with groups. Period. Good one, K1. Received a bad review online from a parent who loves the program but concerned with kids teaching kids. How should I respond and should I change my junior black belt roles? Okay, I'm ever mindful if you're going to charge premium dollar, at least the lead instructor should be an adult, sir. If you got junior instructors teaching your classes, I would be a little bit challenged with that if I'm paying you premium dollar. Is it fine to use your junior instructors as assistants? Absolutely. Is it fine to use that junior instructor to work with 2 or 3 kids? Absolutely. Absolutely. But to have them run the class fully, yeah, I would be a little challenged with that. I would, because I'm an adult. And when I watch some 14, 15-year-old kid teaching a full on class, I'm challenged with that. But if you pre-frame it, then you have a unique opportunity. Like often, we have Kim, who's 19 years old. But at the time, I mean, she's exceptional though. I mean, she could run a whole school when she was 17. But anyways, I remember one time we had a new beginner doing a class for the first time. Now, we don't do one-on-one intros. The way we do our intros is everybody warms up together, does the stretch, the mat chat, and all that. Then we will assign an instructor to work with that brand new student on their first day, separate of the full class on the side near the parent sitting. So I remember, and this is how you pre-frame the success. I went up to the parent and I said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Professor Beliso. Welcome to our school." I did that whole song and dance, but the sticker was what really made the huge difference there, Joe. I said, what I would like to do is everybody warms up together, does the stretch, the mat chat, all that. But when it's time, I'm going to have your daughter pulled aside, and I want her to work with Kim one-on-one. Kim's one of our black belts. She's 17 years old. I think this would be really good because it will be a good role model for your daughter to see. Are you okay with that? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Instead of them sitting there going, why in the heck's this young kid working with my kid? I don't know if I want to pay for that, blah, 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 blah. See, so we set them up for success by pre-framing why we're having this junior instructor who's a girl working with their daughter on their first day of class. You see how I set that up for success? Otherwise, they're left to their own devices. Now, if you say, Joe, part of our instructors training is we have our junior instructors leading the classes, that's fine as long as you are standing there next to them, supervising, adding 2 cents and supporting. But if you do that all the time, again, I think I would have an issue with that, right? The average tenure for us has been 10 years. These guys get paid top dollar. People are paying us top dollar virtually and outdoors because they're getting the quality instruction that justifies dealing with the sacrifice of virtual or outdoors for many of these people. I think that's important. That's important, right? So again, I don't know if I'd let my junior instructors run loose, but I would pre-frame that we have junior instructors. Here's why we have them, but be confident. An adult instructor will always be on that floor supporting it. And if you set all of that up right, then maybe you wouldn't have gotten that bad review, right? Or that bad comment. So again, communication is part of that, the processes and systems, Joe, to share why we do it this way and how this is benefiting your child. How does it benefit my child that you've got this junior instructor teaching the class? Well, because it's a good role model. They're learning leadership skills and they're close in age to your child so they can relate a little better. But it's not something we do all the time. It's a very minute part of the training. And they know coming in to my school that that's part of that process. Cool? James, what CRM are you using? I feel a lot of CRMs are starting to become like the industry consultants. You know, that's a real good point. We use My Studio. That's who we use. And I want to talk poorly about the other softwares out there, but I do understand from Salesforce, which is one of the biggest CRM systems in the world, Salesforce, right? Look them up. They will tell you you shouldn't be paying more than $20 a month for a fundamental CRM system. What does it do? Tracks payments, tracks their belts, you communicate. It's not rocket science, right? It's a very base system. But what happens in our industry is we want this CRM system to dance, cook us dinner, put our kids to bed, and schedule our activities for the next week. That's the challenge because we want things to be so automated and so set up that we're asking CRM systems to do more. And if you wanted to do more, you're going to have to pay more. See? And that's the challenge out there. So a lot of these CRM systems are changing dramatically, and all the companies see that. Market Muscles has Pulse, Spark has theirs. Everyone's developing CRM systems now because they see it as a revenue stream, right? It's an additional revenue stream. What I believe for me is I want a designated company that only does CRM. So that's why we lean towards My Studio. And by the way, they are one of our sponsors. And I'm not plugging them because they're a sponsor. I don't have to do that. That's one of my agreements. If I don't like your product, I don't like your product. But I like My Studio. And because they're willing to make these mistakes and grow. But as they're growing, as I shared at the top of this broadcast, James, they're recognizing our product's too inexpensive. If it does 1, 2, 3, that's $20. If it does 4, 5, 6, it's 49. If it does 7, 8, 9, here's a different plan. I get that because otherwise they're a company that they can't scale and monetize. I understand that. I understand that. So be mindful. I think what it really goes down to, James, is what do you want this CRM system to do for you and your school? What is it that you need? Right? Collect payments, update credit cards, send push notifications, you know, track belts, attendance. What does it fundamentally need to do? Now, if you wanted to do your website, you wanted to do ClickFunnels and all the rest, you're going to pay more, right? But my challenge with that, I don't believe any one of these fundamental CRM systems can do what others can really well. For example, we use MailChimp because graphically, everything wise, it's better looking, right? I'd rather send out our email campaigns and stuff through MailChimp. No CRM system can compete with MailChimp for that. So you buy these CRM systems that kind of like do everything a little bit because it's all in one house, right? But how hard is it to export a CSV file of your contacts into MailChimp and then send out your email campaign through MailChimp? I don't think it's that hard. I don't think it's that hard. But again, I think it really goes back to what is it that you need, James? And then based upon your values, you go from there. Yeah, Eric likes My Studio. We've been using them since they started. And you know that, Eric. There's been a lot of challenges with My Studio, but it's that way with any great company because they're taking chances, they're taking risks, they're using new things. And when I learned that from Tu's wife, Lynette, we were at Harvard and she was speaking and she said, get it out is better than get it perfect. That has stuck with me forever. So yes, My Studio will roll something out so they get your feedback. Otherwise, they're famous in their own mind going, yeah, this is exactly what it should be. Then they wrap it up and put a bow on it and they launch it and there's no room to change. So it's better that they spend this amount of money and get it out and get all your feedback on a new feature, then spend more money to make the corrections that you really need. You have to deliver it and we have to be using it in real time to gather what? Data. We're mining data. My studio needs to mine the data so you can tell them this worked, this doesn't work. I hope you understand that. But I see a lot of talk in our industry. Well, My Studio does. Guys, it's disruptive behavior, right? But we want things to be perfect, and they're not going to be. There's trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. Oh, we got it. But unless we roll it out, that's not going to happen. So I praise My Studio for having that vision to put it out there and then deal with the onslaught. Oh, that doesn't work. Why'd you do this? How come you got to charge more? Well, they're willing to do that because they want to make the best product. And like they say, if you want to make an omelet, you're going to have to break a couple of eggs. Same thing here. So I know that's kind of long-winded, but again, I love the people at My Studio. They're good people. So when people will come at them or say something, you know, I don't think it's displaced, but I understand your frustration with my studio when they do things like that. But I've watched this product, like Eric says, from day one to go here in a short period of time. And you show their numbers, they put over a $1.2 million into the product, and now they're going to put another 2 million into it. This thing's going to be amazing. But understand, they do one thing, CRM, and they do it well. You know, you have that website thing, but that little website on the app, how can that possibly beat a full blown website you do in WordPress, or Squarespace? It can't. There's no way that website on the app can kick ass on a WordPress site. The mobile version of a WordPress site is badass. It takes a lot of money to get to that level. So again, you have to decide what you want that CRM system to do, James, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's another disruptive thing, Kat. I totally agree with you. Yeah. How do you keep everything for the students organized with all the different platforms? Well, James, in my studio, we track their belts, we track their payments, we track their attendance. We can send push notifications if they have the app, and we can do texts and emails. So that's what a CRM system does, right? That's what it's for. It's a manager, customer relationship management systems, right? That's what it's supposed to do, right? And then only other thing we use is MailChimp. So all we do is export a CVS file because each month we get new contacts. We export that into MailChimp, and we send out our e-newsletter. We send out, anything that we need kind of to look groovy and bells and whistles, right? It's MailChimp and what? Constant Contact. Those are the real two big boys for email campaigns and e-newsletters and things like that, and announcements. So we like it. So it's that simple. You export a CVS file from my studio, it goes right into MailChimp. It's that simple. Everything else we manage through my studio. And we're starting to use more of the flows, but graphically, when you look at our e-newsletter, James, it looks really, really good. And we can't get that. We don't get that out of the My Studio platform. We can do email flows and things like that, but I want something, when I send you an e-newsletter, I want the best of the best. And nothing's better than MailChimp or Constant Contact when it comes to layout, functionality, all those different things. And it's just that simple. It's a couple of clicks. So other than that, everything for us is all in my studio. And I love being outside in the park, James. I pull out my studio, I click on the Black Business app, I take attendance in the app, I can sell things in there. And like Kat's saying, the partnership with Century, with the drop ship, now people go right into our app, they go into the store, and they order stuff straight from Century, and Century mails it directly to them. And we get money at the end of the month from Century. So it's very cool. It's very cool. But again, disruptive behavior requires people to be, how many people give Elon Musk crap? He just became the richest man in the world today because of Tesla, right? All those rockets, NASA was laughing at him. Lockheed was laughing at him. You're going to do what? Make reusable rockets? Rockets that don't just simply fall off and fall into the ocean and we have to go retrieve? You're going to make a rocket that lands back on the platform that we can use again and again? You're freaking nuts. He's laughing all the way to the bank today. Right? So that's what I love. And I believe me, my studio is going to be there. And when it is, a lot of people that criticize the product will be going, oh, see, but I understand disruptive behavior. And if you're cool with disruption, you're cool with getting egg on your face, you're cool with the trial and error, you're cool with the experimentation and falling forward fast, then it's just part of the process. I don't think it's a big deal. What about your pro shop and billings? What about my pro shop and billings? We do all of that through my studio, sir. Everything's done through my studio. Yeah, all of it. Any of us can whip out an iPad. We use our phones. And you know why that really excites me? Go into an Apple store. They use a phone, don't they? When you purchase something, got a big ass phone, they pay it all. They send you an email. You sign right on there. That's what's neat. I can take out my phone right now, do a purchase, you sign it right in there, and it's done. We sit there outdoors. We sell stuff. We sell memberships. We whip out our phones and we're selling them. It's brilliant. It's just brilliant. But again, our industry is so conditioned to believe what? What is our industry conditioned to believe? This must do everything. So you got to pay us $200-300 a month. I disagree. I disagree. Totally. God, somebody better show this to my studio. Maybe they'll send me a t-shirt or something. I just did the My Studio plug. Somebody send this to Tule right now. Tag Tule on this. Somebody share this today with Tule and said, Brannon's going off on my studio. Tell him that. Somebody tell Tu that right now. Tag him on it and say, Brannon just went off on my studio. Okay, cool. Next question. Yannick, I am actually working hard to create systems so that when I reopen, the team and dojo will have a better structure. What would you do with old employees who are used to doing tasks their way? What is your tip so that they respect the new system, no matter if they think they can do something better and faster their way? So there's a couple of things I see right there already. And I remember, and here's my story. I was working with UCSF. They were absorbing the heart and lung division, which was a boutique division. Okay. And they did everything pen and paper. And they were absorbing this small boutique heart and lung, or lung and kidney, I don't know. They were absorbing this division into a bigger division, which was driven by software. My job was to come in and to get the management of this small boutique heart and lung department to get on board to helping absorb everything into the bigger division and software. So there was all this resistance. They were not answering emails. They weren't giving them their notes, all of this stuff. So what I shared was what Carly Fiorini said when she came aboard to Hewlett Packard. She said 3 things are going to happen in this transition. One, you get on board with us and you help us make this transition, and we're able to utilize your valuable input, right? Your pen and paper techniques, your task driven that only you understand how to do. You're going to contribute that input that only you know how to do, which is valuable to us, and help us write these systems and help us implement it into the software. Or 2, you stonewall us and you'll never advance in our company. And eventually we will phase you out. Or 3, you don't like what's going on and you quit now. Those are really the 3 options. And I shared that. That was my opening statement. And it was, whoa. The people who hired me were just like, wow, that's what we've wanted to say, right? I'm sitting UCSF, all these PhD higher ups, management that's been there 25 years, and I gave them the Hewlett Packard speech that Carly Fiorini said. I hope I'm saying her name right. Number 1, you get on board, give us your valuable input, help us take your tasks and write them and update them into contemporary systems that everybody can do. The challenge with, I can do this task. I wrote it for me. I do it this way. The challenge with that is nobody else can do that. You can't teach it as a system, Yannick, and replicate the behavior. And I'm sure there's a lot of practices in there that are outdated because only they can do it. And that's complacent. I do it my way. And it also, here's the other thing that went with that, because I was in that position at one point with a program director way back when we had one. We haven't had one for 15 years. Was they feel job security because only I can do this. So you count on me to do this. But it feeds their ego. I'm not expendable because only I can do this. That's why you need me. It's ego driven. We want to write systems that everybody can perform. Like they say in E-Myth, write systems for ordinary people to perform extraordinarily. The other challenge with this one single person, sir, is they're writing the system. When they write it, they're going to write it for themselves to do it. You need to be great. When you write these processes, Yannick, you're writing systems for other people to understand and comprehend. Does that make sense? So I would get this person on board. You're valuable, right? We need you, but we want to write a new system that not only you understand, but everybody can understand and be successful with. Does that make sense? So give them that speech. You get on board, you help us write these systems with your valuable input, and we'll take the great elements of the system, but we have to write it for everybody to do it. 2, you stonewall me. You live like an old dog, can't teach an old dog new trick, and eventually I phase you out. Or 3, you quit now. Those are the 3 options. I want A. I'm going to tell you I want A. But if you can't come aboard on A, then B will phase you out, or 3, you quit. And I looked at these people and they looked at me like, whoa, are you threatening us? I said, no, but it's just reality. You play this one out yourself. You're unhappy. You don't like this transition. So you don't like it. So if you're unhappy, eventually you're going to quit or I let you go. Why do we want that to happen? Let's not let that happen. Let's work together and flesh this thing out. Cool? I hope you get that because Yannick, if you're doing this, good. Oh, yes, right on time. Good, Yannick. I'm glad that you're seeing that. That's the long and short. Okay. And that sense of transparency is important. It's really important. Cool. Next question. Cool. I think it's our last question. Is this our last one? Okay, good. Let's do it. Daniel, I'm looking for advice. I've been wanting to open a school. I've been teaching at a community center. What are the first steps to opening a school? Okay, Daniel, that's a real good question. So, what I love is the fact that you've been teaching at a community center. When I opened One Martial Arts in San Francisco, I was teaching cardio kickboxing because Taibo is the big rage. I was teaching cardio kickboxing at three different martial arts schools. Three. I was teaching cardio kickboxing at three different health clubs. I was teaching martial arts, kids martial arts, at one martial arts school at the Park and Rec. So when I opened One Martial Arts San Francisco, I had 100 students instantly when I opened the doors. So I think that's really valuable, sir. So that's the first thing I want you to think about, Daniel, is the current student base that you have. How many are going to pay you top dollar when you move them to your new school? That's because that's your first income. And when I'm doing my business plan and I want to see my cost and my expenses, sir, I want to be able to look at, Daniel, is what revenue do I have right now? Because that's going to be a huge thing in determining how much money I need to get. So that's the first thing. Now, if I can say ideally, if you're going to open a new school, I want you to have at least 6 months of rent in place. I want you to have 6 months of marketing. And if you plan on quitting your day job and doing this full time from day one, Daniel, I want you to have enough money to cover your personal expenses for at least 6 months. Better if you could have a year of rent, a year of expenses, a year of paying you a livable wage and taxes and all that, a year, even better, even better. Because you don't want to open the door going, well, I have to make enough money next month to pay rent or I'm broke. You don't want to be in that position. You simply do not. That's why when we opened Millbrae, I got a $300,000 loan. We were set for a year if we never got one student, sir. Not got one. So that's the first thing is circle the wagons, Daniel, and assess what revenue do I have? And will they pay me more money when I open a brick and mortar school? Because I would take it if you're in a community center, you're probably charging a lower fee right now, right? I'm sure you are, right? So you're charging a lower fee. So I want to be mindful of that will those students move to this new school? And when I've worked with people at the community center, I'm going to say, well, if the community center's here and I open up 20 miles away, all those students are gone. Right? So I'm going to take those students and make sure I'm not moving more than a 3 to 5 mile radius from the community center. And I would have some great intro special. I'm going to charge you the community rate that you're currently paying for the first 3 months. Let me earn your business showing being in a brick and mortar school where it's more controlled. It's our brand. It's our mats. It's our way is going to be a better experience. And after 3 months, offer them a great 1 year special paid in full and grandfather them in. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second, write a business plan. I shared that at the It's Time Live Small Business Owners. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, Daniel, pick it up, buy it for 20 bucks, watch it. When you write a business plan, you want to make sure you flesh that out. The first part of that business plan, Daniel, is what are your products? What are your services? Is there a demographic that needs that service? And two, is it profitable to you? Right? Again, my analogy is if I live in the Philippines, I'm not opening a heating company. It would fail, right? It's hot, it's humid, nobody needs the heaters. Now, an air conditioner company, that's a different day. Okay. So you want to make sure that when you have these products, your different programs, things like that, Daniel, is there a need for it in the community where you're going to open this school? Right? And then you back that up with good, hard demographic. I cater to kids. I teach life skills, fitness, and martial arts programs to kids. Within a 3 mile radius of this brick and mortar location, there are 5 elementary schools. There are 11 preschools. There are 1 middle school. See, that alone. In here, there's 22,000 people in this community. 50% of them are families that own homes. 50% of that also has small kids between the ages of 4 and 12. See, all that demographic shows you've done your homework. So when you're opening the school, there's a demographic to support it. Make sense? Again, I'm not selling ice cream in Alaska. Makes no sense. I'm not doing that, right? I'm not doing that. So again, that first part of the business plan will really help you understand, Daniel, if you have products that are needed in this community, and is there a community that has the disposable income to back it up so that you have a revenue stream. The second part of that is knowing your numbers. Project it out, Daniel, right? Well, I've never owned a school. Well, great. I'd find a school similar to yours saying, okay, when this martial arts school opened up in the community I'm in, their programs are similar to mine. They were able to get 100 students in 1 year. So that's data. I can mine that data and say pretty much same school, same kind of model as I want to do, same type of programs. They were able to scale to 100 students in 1 year. Oh, I found a second and third school doing the same type of business in my community, also scaled to 100 students. See, that's data. That's data. You can't just make it up going, well, I believe I'll have 500 students in 1 year. That's mythical. That's mythical. You want hard data. Hard data. And it's out there, sir. And then, of course, understanding how many new students I need to get to break even point, how many students I need to get to this level and this level and this level, right? You need to know that. I knew opening San Francisco with 100 students, all the bills were paid. And I was able to pay myself $3,000 a month to eat top ramen and rent a room in my sister's house. That's how I started at 38 years old. Finished my rock and roll career, blew through all my money in 6 months here. I thought I was still a rock star when I came back from the Philippines. Blew through all my money, shifted in, and I was teaching at all these different places, renting a room, driving an $800 hoopty car, right, that I prayed would start every time. But I lived within my means. That's the point I'm trying to make. Made my first million within 7 years, and the rest has been history with that. Cool? Good. Okay. Yeah, good, good, good. Good. Cat limited shopping range, good. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yannick, number one, get on board. Help us write these systems with your valuable inputs. Two, you get along with those systems or we will let you go. Three, you quit now. That's it. And that was not said by me, Yannick, that was said by freaking Carly Fiorini when they brought her on, right? She became the head person at Hewlett Packard. That's badass. That's straight and to the point, right? That's straight and to the point. But see, then they have options and they see everything see, that's smart business, isn't it? That's all the different options, and it's up to you to make that choice. I think it's just good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. All right. So we have no more questions. We did a great job. We're over by 5 minutes. Not bad, not bad. So a couple of things. Number one, we're starting our group mentoring program again. And that's happening. It's a 12-month program. We're going to start in February. 12 months of living your best life with me. And what's the cost of that, K1? See, it's $99 a month if you sign up before January 15th. And we start regular price is what? 150? Regular price is $150 a month. So if you sign up before January 15th, it's $99 a month. Now, you know me, it's 12 months, but it's not a 12-month commitment. You're paying me month to month. If you don't like it, you can quit any month. So for 99 bucks a month, you're going to find out if it flies for you or not. Ask Jason. He's here. We literally reinvented his whole school, his thinking, everything. And now he's growing and it's working for him, right? I'm dedicated to the small business owner, but much like Salesforce, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to pay a consultant $1,000 a month to get the information if you're ready to do the legwork. See, the people that pay me a lot of money, I hold their hand. They call me at 12 midnight. I do all of that. That's a different day. That's a different day. But I believe every small school owner needs to have the gumption, the grit, the resourcefulness, and you shouldn't be paying anybody $1,000 a month. It's insane, right? It's insane unless you want that kind of hand holding and midnight phone calls, right? That's cool. That's cool. But if you do the work, if you do the work, I promise you for 99 bucks a month, you're fine. So get signed up for our group mentoring before January 15th. It's 99. After that, it's 150 a month. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. All right. And then you also want to pick up the It's Time Small Business Owner event, 20 bucks. Watch it again and again and again. Go to brannonblisa.com. There's other great e-learning products there. I was looking back at what we did last year. We did a lot. Oh my God. We did like 7 or 8 webinars, all geared towards a small business owner. It culminated with It's Time Live Elevate with people all over the world. And then, of course, the one we did free last week, 200 people signed up, over 130 showed up. We were very blessed and grateful for that. So I hope you shared this with everyone. We're going to choose our winner. You and your whole team get a Kids Love Life Skills staff t-shirt courtesy of who? Kids Love Life Skills. Yeah, look at that. Kids Love Life Skills. Right on, right on, right on. All right, who's our winner today? Kat Gorinsky. And you know what? It looks like she had to take off. I have to go do my day job. Oh, no. But Kat, you are the winner. Give Kat some love, disruptors. Tell her congrats, Kat. Somebody shoot her a text, an email, or something. Let her know, let her know, let her know. Cool, cool, cool. Congrats, Kat. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Hey, you know what we didn't get to announce? We did a disruptor contest a little while back, and we had 3 people submit videos. And here's what I'm going to do. It was Jason, Shauna, and who? One other person. Yeah, there's 3 people. So we'll pull your names up, and what we're gonna do is all 3 of you will be winners. All right. And I'm gonna divvy up the hours. I'm gonna do 2 hours for each of you. So instead of 4 hours for one person, we'll do a total of 6 hours, 2 hours to Shauna, 2 hours to Jason, and 2 hours to the third person. All right. And that's for the disruptor video contest. Cool, cool, cool. So that gives you some time to spend with me. Yeah, thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Yannick. Thank you, Stephanie. All the way in Germany, right? James, Don, Marco. Yeah, congratulations, Kat D. Yannick. Thank you, thank you. Conrad, thank you, sir. See that? Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? Jason. Yeah. So you have 3 winners, and then we'll have K1 will post the 3 winners from that disruptor contest. Cool, cool, cool. There you go. There you go. So let's wrap this up. I want to thank my sponsors. Thank you to my studio, Kids Love Life Skills. And thank you to LC Accounting. All right. All right. Hey, I'm Brannon Bliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. It's your life. It's your space. It's your race. When the day's done, don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Fail forward. Figure it out yourself, empower yourself, and create that type of life and business that you can be proud of. As long as you're willing to be accountable, you're willing to be the action taker, then you no longer live in that victim mindset. And I've been very passionate about talking about that lately. Don't be a victim, be a victor. Take ownership. You're responsible for your success. You're responsible for your failure. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, I'm Brannon Bliso. Thank you to K1 as always manning the helm. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, please, 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 you go out there, live